The only question I've wanted to ask you for a long time is it takes, let's say I'm running a marathon and I hurt my foot at mile 3. I'm going to kind of start looking for a way out. You blew your hamstring and still didn't look for a way out. Where do you got to go mentally? What do you tell are you reminding yourself, like, ignore it? Or is adrenaline jump blocking it?
What goes through your head is like, there's nothing that's going to stop me, Going into that cage, that's the mindset that I already have, He's not going to stop me. That's the mindset I have. So anything that happens, you feel pain, it's like you're going to push through it. Nothing's going to stop you, and that's really what it comes from.
How do you cultivate that? You know what I mean? You see guys, you watch I know you watch a fight and you see a guy get hit and he's looking for a way out. I'm not saying he wants to lose, but he doesn't want to be in that fight anymore. How do you cultivate that?
I think we're just a different breed. I think what happens is you see guys that were meant for this sport. You see guys that have the heart of a fighter. And then you see guys that might be doing this for maybe the wrong reasons, might be doing this because they can make some money at it. They might be doing this because they want to be famous. They want to go to those pool parties and all that kind of stuff and be recognized. But that's not why I do this. I do this to go out and compete and be the best fighter that I can be the best man that night. And I think that's the difference between the two.
And your use of your body is much different than another person's. Do you do yoga? Like the way you're moving your limbs is much different than another heavyweight. How do you work on that? How do you keep that? Is it just natural, or
it's natural, but it's also something that you have to maintain. I have to work on the explosive movements. I have to work on the way I move. I mean, I did blow my hamstring, so I wasn't doing yoga back then. You know what I mean? So, and I'm still not doing yoga now, but I do stretch and I take care of my body, and I'm a full-time athlete, so this is what I'm dedicated to, and I just need to go out there and do what I have to do.
Being a full-time athlete, is it ever hard? I mean, if you were a fry cook, there's days you don't want to show up. Now, as an athlete, you have your days you're tired, and what do you do to just get out the front door and go?
Those are the times that make the difference. Those are the champions, the guys that get up and just there's not one person in here that'll tell you, one person that fights that'll tell you that every day they wake up, they want to go get punched in the face. There's not a single one. There's been times that every single one of us have gone to training when we feel like we don't want to. It's the last thing we want to do, but we do it, and it's because we have the heart of a champion. We push through those times, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Now, the fact that you know what it's like firsthand to push through things and to get hurt and have to push through. If you have a child want to do this as a fighter, would you say, no, you're getting a master's degree and a doctorate? Or would you say, go for it?
I'm a believer in letting my kids figure out life for themselves. My kid wanted to be a golfer. I don't know a damn thing about golfing, but I would support him and I would learn and I would try to help him as much as possible. Same thing if you wanted to be a fighter. The thing about being a fighter is I would be able to help coach them and show them maybe, what I did right, what I did wrong, and help them, just point them in the right direction.
Now, with the certain guys you fight, you run into, you fought Alistair Overeem, you fought all and you're newer to the sport than them. Is there ever a moment like you get excited because you're like, I used to watch that dude in Pride? Does that play in your mind at all? Or do you just think, I'm fighting a man, he puts his pants on, I put my pants on, and we fight?
Yeah, I've never been somebody that gets starstruck. I've seen like movie stars and I've seen other athletes when I was growing up, and someone would be like, oh, that's so-and-so, and I'd be like, oh, cool, and just sounds good. I was just never like, oh my gosh, that's, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, I've just never been that guy. So to me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't help me. It is what it is. Like you said, he's another man. He puts his pants on one leg at a time. And, we all bleed red.
Do you, you like basketball? You love basketball. Can you tell me, because sometimes when you're in a team sport, people have that mentality like, oh, we would have won, but you. And fighting is not that mentality.
Yeah.
Is it hard to transition from that? Or is basketball, were you the same? You still had the same?
You have the same. I mean, you have to hold yourself accountable in any sport that you play, and somebody wants to say, oh, well, this person, yeah, he missed that shot. Well, why did he get the ball? Why didn't you get the ball? Oh, well, it's because of this person. Oh, well, really? Why weren't you open? It's like, you can always blame the other person. Maybe somebody messes up in a team sport. Okay, that's fine, but you have to see what you could have done better, because nobody's perfect, in any sport that you play.
Now, when I was working out with a girl who was a basketball coach, and she would say the best athletes are basketball because they can run, they can jump, they have great cardio. Do you agree? And also, how are their knees after? Because, Shaq's walking different than when Shaq was young.
Yeah, I feel like basketball players are among the elite athletes in the world. I'm in way better shape now. It's a different kind of shape, but I'm in way better shape now fighting than I was in basketball. But where I get my strengths from, basketball helped develop that. My quickness and my speed and my, just being able to move left and right instead of just forward and backwards. I got that from basketball. So it's hard to argue anything against that. I think there's great athletes in the sport of basketball.
Thank you so much.